So, welcome back. This is episode 7 of the project. We are going to start on this side of the van, trying to get the panels back on. Now, this is going to be a slow and tedious process in this one because we've got to fabricate panels. Now, where's my panel gone so I can show you? Oh! Can you see the light through that? I don't know where. I think you can there. Maybe. I don't know. Well, I'll get a bit closer. So, if you can see here, I have to make this panel. Just this piece. I'm gonna drill out these, take this off, make this piece, and weld it back on. It's gonna be cut from here, I'd say, or maybe it's along here. Most of it's gonna be missing anyway. So I suppose, as a reminder, I can show you it on the van now. How much I need now. So basically, this panel has to go in here, like that. So basically probably cut it along there, and when I make this, cut it along there, in, and that's how it should look. So let's get onto that now. I'm not sure if I look out of focus because I have the focus all on this piece here. So what I'm going to do in this episode is not much is going to happen. I think this is just going to be really me shaping and figuring out how to do that. But I'm going to try and bring everyone through the process with me. So when I can, or when I seem fit, I'm going to jump in and say what I'm doing, and hopefully I get good shots so you can see it happen. I'm going to try my best anyway. So first off, I think, without having complete knowledge of where I should start, I feel maybe bend this back this way, because as you can see on this one, it comes down and this one goes up. So I need this to come down this way. But another thing I've noticed is when I'm bending it back, you can see that there's a little lip on this one here, and it kinks back up and down. So what I might do is, if I can, make it so that this part so I don't have to bend it all that way and then kink it back up to get this little notch. What I might do is bend it without that notch. So find the point here on this panel, bend that panel around, which still leaves me with this lip that didn't get touched whatsoever. So I'm feeling that might be a good idea. We're going to go with that and get this panel down and see how it goes. So let's jump onto that and I'll talk to you after. Now the how I'm going to bend this is a different story. Some of these might cringe, but I'm just going to go with the flow. Right, so I might as well just cut in. I actually got that bend. I don't know how I did it. There's a load of slapping. I'm gonna have to dress it up and stuff like that, but for someone who hasn't really, I don't know, I haven't watched any YouTube videos or anything, so I haven't had a chance, so I thought I'd chance it. Now I did realise that I'll be honest, I thought when I was flattening it out, I was like, oh, I have to go with the shape of the panel. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna stretch it. Like, well, I didn't mean to stretch it as much as I did, but I thought, oh no, to get the shape, to keep it going around, I'll bang, bang, bang. I think he's seen it at one point. I was kind of going like that, but all that did was kind of warped my panel. I'm a little bit it's a little bit gone. It's gone a bit funny, like that. So I'm gonna have to Google, maybe YouTube. I know there's a fella there I had to watch when I do watch them. On YouTube, Trev's blog. He's pretty good, so I might see if I can fix that. But yeah, no, it's just bashing away. I suppose let's just get on with it. To do now is because I've been fighting with the panel. I've gotten this shape into it now, as you can see, but the issue is, I think, it might be easier to shape it now if I start trimming it down to the actual size. Just taking maybe a little bit off this and just a little bit off this, it might give it a little bit more flexibility and narrow the size down, and it might even be easier to follow. So yeah, let's jump into that. So the plan is now, I've marked here, so roughly in around there, because of the way this panel is, if you can see, don't know if you can see that, the way it kind of goes thinner here, and then obviously there's nothing here. I'm going to try and mimic that along here roughly, just because this obviously acts as a strengthener for me bending the steel this way. So for me to curl this way, this needs to be gone, so it will give me a little bit more flexibility in the steel. And then I have here just roughly marked, because that's where it starts, the bend kind of starts and around just along here for shaping it. So we're gonna take this off. I'm gonna have a look at all the measurements again after that, line it all up, maybe adjust it, try and maybe see if there's a better way of doing it as we go along, as it's just kind of a learning process. Yeah, so let's just jump into it. So this is the start line for where it needs to be shaped. I've kind of marked it out. It kind of changes here, here, and here. See, what I'm thinking now is, because I was unsure where to cut it or whatever, I'm going to cut it at the kinks. So I'm going to shape it a bit more, let this come all out if it wants to go off sideways and all that. I don't mind that too much. I'll put a little cut here, and maybe we'll see how many more kinks we get in it or where we get the kinks, and maybe cut it there, bend it down a bit more, and yeah, so I guess we'll keep going. I've made the panel. I don't know how, but I did it. And to be honest, it doesn't seem too bad. You have just watched the process of it being done, and never done it before. I don't know anything about being a fabricator or anything. So please don't murder me in the comments too hard with, you know, trying to shape it off the inside of that, and then you're probably thinking, oh, well, it shouldn't work anyway, because technically that panel shouldn't fit in there, because the fact that it does means this panel is bigger. And the reason for that is the panel on the other van where I cut this off of is the top arch, so it's actually thicker on the top, and then it gets skinnier and skinnier and skinnier as it goes down. But I've matched it up, and to be honest, it actually fits on perfectly, so we're gonna go with that, and I'm happy enough to do that. Maybe it might take a few taps here and a little bit of a squeeze there and whatnot to try and get it on properly, but it actually, like, hey, to be honest with you, the fact that it's even close to the shape of this, I'm happy. You know, if it was a little bit bigger, the fact that it's probably being stretched a little bit as well, it should be fine. Yeah, I'm happy enough putting that on. But what I am going to say is, we're going to stick this back onto this panel now, as you would have seen at the beginning of this video. So put it back on here, the new one, and fit it to the van. Hopefully get that all done in this video. I suppose you'll know for the time it's out and all that. Anyway, you'll see that probably going on. And for the other side, I'm probably not going to film that because there's no need for you to see it twice. I suppose it gets a bit boring. You kind of know the process that I'm going to go through and do. I will show you the finished piece, and just to see if it's any better, or maybe it'll be worse, you know. Sometimes the second try is the fucking, you know what I mean, sometimes you get it right the first time, and then when you do it the second time it just doesn't happen. So we're gonna try that, we're gonna go with it, and yeah, let's just crack on and see what happens. So, I've got the panel in, as you can see here. And the reason I didn't show you the welding, and I didn't show you the twisting and the trying to get it straight, was because there was actually, it took a while, because there was a bit of messing around that I had to do. And I just said, you know what, I get stuck in, get it out of the way, and then I'll just show you what I did. So, basically what I did is I had to shorten the panel, because it wasn't sitting in right. When I put it up, when this panel was straight, so the flat piece, when that was all flush with its own panel, this one was all sideways and off, and it just wasn't sitting up right whatsoever. So I took it back off then, and I just straightened it out, done a little bit of a twist, and then cut the panel, shortened it down. The little piece that I didn't need, I took that out and put it in. Still a little bit off. There's a mil or two gap here. I be honest with you, I built it up with a bit of weld. So that weld is now stronger than any piece of steel in the van. That fucking joint there, it's very strong. But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, I suppose, because it was either that or fabricate a new piece, because it was only a little bit. It's only a little bit. It's not that big of a deal. So I did that anyway, and that's to put it short and sweet. That's all I really did. It wasn't too bad, to be honest with you, but it just a little bit time consuming and a little bit frightening, because I was like, I just spent the whole day making this panel and it's not gonna fit for me. It's gonna fit. Now, looking at the panel here, I did say to you that it was actually from the top of the arch, the other van, so it's a little bit wider, so that is okay. Putting it on, not much difference. If it was on show, I probably would have done it differently. But because the panel's tucked away in there, and it's just a bit of a mud guard, it's fine. It's fine. You don't notice it. I'd be really picky. Now there is a part of me that kind of wants to, you know, you just have to. It has to be everything 110%. If it falls off again in 10 or 15 years time, I'll do it, right? But for now, I think that's good first try, especially because it was fabricating and all that. I didn't know how it was going to turn out. Part of me was thinking, am I going to be able to do this? Just get a piece of steel and just bend it, be grand, leave it at that. But we got it in anyway. So now, grind it down, just spray a little bit of primer onto it, and that's it until the next video. So let's get to it. I just found a few little holes from shining the light in behind, so I'm just going to fill them in now and get on with it. So everyone, that is the end of this episode. I finally got a primer done, as you see, and I sprayed it in as much as I can, so it's dripping off it. So we've got good coverage as well, so she's definitely not going to rust. Yeah, so that's it, finally done. Now on to the next side, and I'll see you in the next video.